Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to the final English lesson of the week. It's Friday morning. Just before we get to the weekend, though, I want to take our writing that we did yesterday, so our persuasive writing about what animal we thought was the best in the world, and I want us to take the persuasive part of that writing this morning. Now, we're going to be reading the next 4 pages of Mouse, Bird, Snake, Wolf today, and then we're going to write, you're going to pretend to be one of the characters on those pages, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And you're going to be using persuasive language this morning. Okay, so our learning intention this morning is to be able to write a speech based on a character from a story. What I'd like you to do is, can you open up Mouse, Bird, Snake, Wolf, and we're going to be looking at the next page on this morning. So we've looked at pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to be looking at page 5 this morning, and we're going to read the next 4 pages. So we've got 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, what we're going to have a look at then, we're going to read it together, and we're going to start to look at some of the characters on these pages. Now, we might have had some of these characters on the original pictures when you predicted earlier on in the week. This will start to shed light, start to show you who these people are. Okay, so let's read together. Press pause while you're getting the book ready and play when you're ready to listen. So we're talking about these are the gods. But now they spent day after day lying on their clouds, sipping tea together and nibbling sandwiches and cakes. They chatted about their creations and gazed down at them with deepest fondness. "Your elephant, sir, is a thing of wonder," one would say to another. "Ah, yes, indeed. But what about your chain of mountains and your sparkling ponds and streams? But each time I see your wisteria, my eyes fill with tears. Such restraint, such delicacy. Oh, and those sweet daisies. But your humpback whale, such magnificence. And your extraordinary zowet. Your gazelle. Oh, but your brant." And they would shrug and blush and lower their eyes. They'd be silent for a time, and then they'd whisper, "Could any other gods come up with anything more astonishing?" And in their smiles they'd answer, "No, there are no other worlds like this one. There are no other gods like us. We are indeed the best of all gods in the best of all worlds." Okay, so that's where we're going to stop it there this morning. So have a look back at the pictures on those pages. You've read with me this morning about the gods. So what does it tell you about the gods, both the text and the pictures? Press pause while you're thinking about it, okay, and play when you're ready to come back. If you're in school, you can work with a partner. If you're at home, you can either look at the pages yourself or talk with an adult. Okay, so what do we learn about the gods from these pages? Press pause now. Okay, welcome back. Well, hopefully, I think we could look at these gods and think probably they're a bit lazy. I think they got very excited about what they did create, because they did create some beautiful things, some wonderful things, but they also stopped. They didn't bother continuing with it. I think they got a little bit contented with life, a little bit happy with what they've made, and then they thought, actually, we don't need to do anymore. So they've kind of left the world, as we found out earlier on in the story, with gaps, things that aren't finished. And that can happen to people if they get a little bit complacent, a little bit, that they think they're done, that they've made a brilliant job of something. They sometimes think they don't need to go back and check it or look at it or edit and redraft it if we're thinking about our writing. So these gods, that's what I'm trying to get you to draw out from what you've read this morning. So today we are going to become one of the gods, and you're going to write a speech on how wonderful you are. Okay, and we're going to look at a waggle in a moment, but you're pretty much going to be blowing your own trumpet this morning about what a fabulous God you are, about how brilliant you are at creating creatures, ponds, lakes, oceans, mountains, elephants, anything you can think of this morning. You are going to have a go at telling us how brilliant you are. Okay, so I've got a waggle here on the screen. This is one that we've written between us, Miss Flukes and myself. And what we're trying to do is actually look at how we can use persuasive language, and also I've tried to slip in a few expanded noun phrases, a few two adjective pair sentences. What we'll do quickly in a moment is I'll get you to go back and have a little look through, but let's read it together. So, it is without a doubt that I am the greatest God. I have created wonderful things, such as sparkling streams and ponds, many amazing creatures, and a variety of magnificent trees, plants, and flowers. Have you seen the phenomenal, vast stretch of ocean that I have created? Not only have I created the ocean, but many sparkling, brilliant, gleaming ponds, rivers, and lakes. Incredible and marvelous, stunning and remarkable, the variety of creatures I have created are simply extraordinary, from the enormous, spectacular humpback whale to the graceful, beautiful gazelle. Lavish and majestic, gorgeous and delicate, I have created many forms of trees, plants, and flowers, from the mighty oak tree to the exquisite, glorious orchid. For these reasons, I am certain that I am the greatest God. So you can see in here, there are 4 paragraphs there. I'm not necessarily asking you to write 4 paragraphs this morning, but I am asking you to tell me who is the greatest God. Okay, you are putting yourself out there as being magnificent. Okay, so it is without a doubt, and I've probably highlighted the wrong thing there, so just bear with me. I need to get a different pen. Okay. Yeah, so it is without a doubt that I am the greatest God. Okay, so that is persuasive. Yeah, okay. Have you seen the phenomenal vast stretch of oceans that I have created? Okay, so again, you are making them aware that it is you that has done it over and over again. We've got up here that lovely 2-pair sentence, okay? Incredible and marvelous, stunning and remarkable. The variety of creatures that I have created are simply extraordinary. Now that is pretty persuasive there. Lavish and majestic, gorgeous and delicate, I have created many forms of trees. So again, it's I, all the time telling them how brilliant you are. For these reasons, I am certain I am the greatest God. So you can see what we've got here this morning is pretty much a piece of writing that is hung together using persuasive language, telling everybody how brilliant you are, but backing it up with some lovely descriptive language. Now, what I'm going to do, I've put a copy of the Waggle on the website for people at home. You can access it on today's lesson page. And also, I've put on there a scroll. Okay, now the scroll will be if you wanted to print it, you could write your piece of writing onto the scroll. If you want to this morning, or if you're at home and you want to just want to write it out into your books, that's perfectly acceptable as well. You might want to write it and then draw scroll outline around it. Again, the scroll is on this morning's lesson page. It's just an outline, just something that you could write onto. Now we want you to show us this morning that you can use wonderful expanded noun phrases to describe the creatures that you've created. And you can link it back to yesterday's elephant if you wanted to, or whatever creature you described yesterday. But it would be wonderful if you could pick, talk to us about all the amazing things that you have created. If you are able to use to adjective pair sentences, that would be fabulous as well. So for our steps to success for this morning, I want you to use persuasive language. Again, the persuasive language sheet I pinned to the Friday lesson page. And of course, you need to tell us why you think that you are important. Why are you the best God? Use paragraphs, because we know that's a year 4 writing objective. 2 adjective pair sentences, have a go at them. Try and see if you can go for it. Rhetorical questions. Have you any doubt why I am considered to be the greatest God? So you could even add that kind of question in. Exclamations are easy to get into this because you are making a series of statements about how brilliant you are. Expanded noun phrases, desperately important. Okay, you've got to be describing things beautifully this morning. And finally, frontal adverbial phrases. Can you get any frontal adverbial phrases into your writing this morning? Think back to Monday's lesson. Could you give me a how, why, where, or when frontal adverbial? Just have a little think about that. That could be your extension for this morning, seeing where you can put them in. I hope you have a wonderful go at this morning. We had some lovely writing on this last year because the children really went to town on why they were the greatest God in the history of gods, so to speak, and also they really enjoyed describing the beautiful things on our planet. Think back to the video and have a really good go at this. I look forward to seeing some of your writing. Take care, have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday. Bye bye.